Well, I'm very excited about this morning's guest. Chelsea Handler is returning to the Santa Barbara Bowl on Saturday, August 17th. I'm joined by the legendary comedian, TV host, and six-time best-selling author to talk about her tour. Good morning, Chelsea, and thanks for being here.
Oh, well, good morning. Buenos dias.
Yes, we're so excited. You opened your last tour at the Santa Barbara Bowl, and now you're back for this tour. What do you love about Santa Barbara and that venue?
Well, first of all, who doesn't love Santa Barbara? The Santa Barbara Bowl is I had never performed there before the last time. So it's a gorgeous venue. It's kind of like, it's got a Red Rocks vibe. I don't know if you've ever been to Red Rocks outside of Denver, but yeah, it's a beautiful venue. I mean, yeah, of course, I'm very, very pleased to be going back there. So, and bringing a new show there. And it's summertime, so there's lots of things to be celebrating.
Yeah, definitely. Red Rocks is definitely on my bucket list, but I mean, I live in Santa Barbara, so I get to the bowl as much as I can. It's beautiful, it's outdoor, and we have great weather here in Santa Barbara, Chelsea. So how was the start of the tour, especially Australia? I want to hear about it.
Well, the short tour has been going on. It's been lovely. I've been getting to go all over the world for this. I just came back from Sydney, well, all of Australia. I went to a bunch of cities, New Zealand, Hawaii, just sharing my escapades with the whole world. It's always very joyful. So a lot of the things I talk about in the show, they're international figures. So I have some pretty good stories. I have a good story about going to the Kennebunkport, George W. Bush's compound in Maine during COVID on several edibles. That's how many. That's how I have to go to someone like that's house. I have to subdue my personality because I have these outbursts, sometimes, and especially around politics. Sometimes I get very carried away. So I have a pretty great story about going to play pickleball at Kennebunkport with my family. It was the Handlers versus the Bushes. And Barbara Bush, his daughter, was like, "Don't worry, you won't meet Daddy. Daddy won't be there." And I was like, "First of all, please stop calling him Daddy." And then I did meet him. He was there, and I did meet Daddy, and he showed me his personal painting collection while I was on edibles. So that's a pretty good convoluted story. Something that I always seem to find these instances in my life, and my family's always around me, where they're like, "You get us into the most ridiculous situations." And that was one of them. So, stories like that about people that everybody knows that are kind of worldly, you can kind of tell them in Europe, you can tell them in Australia, you can tell them in America. So, yeah, it's been a really good time to share my nonsense with everyone.
It's not nonsense, and don't subdue that personality, Chelsea. We love it, and Santa Barbara is so excited for it as well. Well, I want to ask, how do you prepare for this impressive international tour? I'm sure you're catching flights, so many different time zones. How do you keep up with it?
Oh, you don't even understand the amount of supplements I take. I don't even know what I'm putting in my body at this point. I just wake up and I take about 30 different pills. And then at noon, I take about 30 different pills. I have so many, immunity and vitamins I don't know what's for what. I mean, I could be taking Viagra for all I know. So I just have to, I pretend there are no time zones. I don't believe in time zones. I just believe in, getting to bed when you need to get to bed and then waking up when you need to. And just, having a great attitude is a pretty big help.
Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, as long as it's working for you and it's getting you to where you need to be, I mean, keep doing what you're doing, Chelsea. Well, you talked a little bit about your content. Do you add fresh content based on either things that happen during tours, something funny that happens right before the show, or do you pretty much stick to the outline, including those stories about the bush?
No, I always mix it up a little bit. There's always, there's a structure, of course, and then I add little things that are happening. I've been dating a lot lately, so there's a lot of funny stories about that. It feels like there's a lot of new trends in dating and, well, sex, quite frankly. There's lots of different things happening that I didn't know about. So I talk a little bit about that. I talk about my childhood a lot, so that's funny. I have a lot of funny stories because I had this personality since I was, 2 or 3. I came out of the womb and I was already very irritated. When I saw my family, I met my parents, I met my brothers and sisters. I'm like, this is too many people. Like, what are you doing having me? This is irresponsible. Do I have a dowry? Like, do we even have a savings plan? So I've always kind of been like this, and I have a lot of childhood stories that illustrate that. So it's very fun to be able to bring so many people together. There's a really like wonderful feeling of being able to provide humor and laughter to two strangers that are sitting next to each other in an audience. To have strangers laughing hysterically next to each other is something that I take a lot of pride in providing. So it always makes me joyful to be in front of a live audience. I've been on the road now for like 3 years straight because I took a long break from stand up. And when I came back to it, I just thought, oh my God, like this is where it's at. This gives me so much joy. And it allows me to provide so much joy.
Definitely. Well, I do real quick want to ask you one last question. And you kind of touched on this. You came out of the womb with this incredible personality. Your style of comedy is very edgy and raw. You're obviously very confident. What advice do you have for someone wanting to break out of their shell if it doesn't come to them as naturally as it does for you?
I mean, I think it takes a lot of time to understand that you are someone, every one of us has something that no one else has to offer. And you have to have belief in yourself and confidence in that. And sometimes confidence doesn't come so easily to people, but it's very important to try to every day instill that confidence in yourself, to understand that you have something to offer, that you are different than everyone, and saying these things to yourself, whether they're out loud or in the mirror or whatever you feel comfortable with. Like, this is our only life we get, even if you believe in other stuff. Like, for all we know, this is it. So you may as well get out.
Definitely.
And really try to live your truth and find out what that is. So I think, fake it until you make it is great, but confidence is pretty much the most attractive quality out there. So
Absolutely.
You have to really try to get that in you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for this. This is just a small snippet of Chelsea's wonderful personality, and she gave us a little taste of what's to come at the Santa Barbara Bowl on August 17th. We'll all have a link to tickets and more information about Chelsea's tour on our mobile app and website. Chelsea, thanks again for joining us, and have a great time on your tour.
Thank you so much. Take care.